My name is James McGowan Scully, and I wish to introduce myself as the author of A Walk of Conscience, which you can purchase by Kindle on Amazon or the physical book. Before I start to tell you about the book, I intend to sing you a song called You Raise Me Up. When I am down and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy sea. I am strong when you are on my shoulder. You raise me up to more than I can be. There is no life without its hunger. Each restless heart beats so imperfectly. But when you come and I am filled with wonder, sometimes I think I glimpse eternity. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulder. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be. To tell you about the book, I was born in Blantyre on the 26th of November 1931. I'm now aged 83 on the 26th of this month. And the book is about my life and the extraordinary life I led. I had a good relationship with my parents and neighbours for the first 20 years of my life, until I joined the army and I became a full corporal and a first-class tradesman. And up until the last 3 months of my 2 years conscription, when I started to drink heavily. On release from the army, I continued to drink, but eventually became a manager of a pub and sort of curtailed the drinking at that stage. But eventually went back to it, and I got married, had 2 sons, one of which was killed by a butcher's van at the age of 2. And from that time, my life just went haywire, and I eventually left my wife and son to go to England, and I travelled the highways and byways of Britain, working in pubs, hotels, and doing various other jobs. And a newspaper reporter, when writing about me, said I was a jack of all trades. I sang in the streets, when I couldn't get proper work. And for nearly 20 years, I was a chronic alcoholic. I wish now to sing you a song in memory of my boy who was killed by the butcher's van. The name of the song is Sonny Boy. Climb upon my knee, sonny boy, though you are only 3, sonny boy. There's no way of knowing, there's no way of showing what you mean to me, sonny boy. When there are gray skies, I don't mind the gray sky. You make them blue, sonny boy. When friends forsake me, let them all forsake me. I'll still have you, sonny boy. You came from heaven, and I know your world. You made a heaven for me right here on earth. So when I'm old and gray, dear, promise you won't stray, dear. For I love you so, sonny boy. But the angels, they grew lonely just for you only. Now I'm lonely too, sonny boy. As the drinking got bad, I eventually was taken into a clinic in Oxford called the Lay Clinic on a 3-month course where I did well, and from the day I entered the clinic until the present day, I have never touched a drink. I also stopped smoking a year later. I'm 43 years off drink, 42 from smoking. I also stopped gambling approximately 30 years ago. And from the time I stopped, I have helped others in the courts, speak on behalf of problem offenders, and then supporting their rehabilitation. And many of them throughout Britain are now leading good lives, some in business and doing other good things. And I wrote this book with the hope that my life will help young people who feel they want to leave home and set out to big cities and towns. And I want to assure them that they should always make sure they have a place to go to, money to keep them until they find work, as it can be a hard life in cities like London, Manchester, Birmingham. all these places I have been to. And I'm now going to sing a song which is appropriate to my drinking days and to warn young people about the dangers in these cities that they may want to go to. The song's called The Wanderer's Warning. I was riding along on a freight train, bound where nobody knew where. I ran off from home just this morning, and my heart was filled with care. I quarreled with my dear old father for all the things he had said. He called me a drunk and a gambler, not fit to be called his own son. I cursed and I swore at my father, told him his words were a lie. I packed all my clothes in a bundle and went to bid mother goodbye. She sat down beside me crying and said, "Oh, my son, do not leave. Your poor mother's heart will be broken, and all her life she will grieve. I know she'll be there by the window, day after day as I roam, watching, waiting and praying for the boy who will never go home. Now you lads, take a wanderer's warning. Don't break your poor mother's heart. Stay by her side, for she loves you, and let nothing keep you apart. I know she'll be there by the window, day after day as I roam, watching, waiting and praying for the boy who will never go home. After I stopped drinking, I got a job as a storeman, which I was a first-class storeman in the army. And I told the man the truth, that I had no reference. My references were all about pubs and hotels where I got drunk most of the time. And I didn't expect to get the job because of this. And he told me that that was the first reference he had ever heard in his life, which was honest and true. And he gave me the job. From there, I started to help go to courts and speak on behalf of young people with problems, and elderly people as well. Some living in a hostel which was lice and flea-ridden. And eventually, as I suspect through shame, the council built a new hostel for alcoholics. I started then as well, after a period of time, to go back home to visit my son and family. And with my wife's consent, I took my son back to Oxford, stopping for a few days at Blackpool, and then took him to London to see the sights, and to other places, holiday places, and eventually back to Oxford, where my boss allowed him to help in the store for a time. And since that time, our lives have been intertwined up until the present day. He now lives across the street from the lad who became licensed to train deep-sea divers and can now fly light aircraft, only drinks a pint of lager on his birthday, pint of lager on Christmas Day, and he has done marvellous. And in his will, he has left everything to me, which of course, I never want that to happen. But since getting back to my son, I gave him a tape recorder, which I sang 2 songs on, and I'm now going to sing one of those songs to you. It's called Danny Boy. Oh, Danny Boy, the pipes are calling. From glen to glen and down the mountainside, the summer's gone and all the flowers are dying. 'Tis you, must go and I must buy. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. For I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, oh, Danny boy, I love you so. And if you come when all the stars are calling, if I am dead, as dead I may well be, you'll come and find the place where I am lying, and kneel and say a loving prayer for me. And I will hear the soft wind above me, and oh, my grace and I'll sleep in peace until you come to me. I'm now going to close the disc with a poem I thought I'd written after getting home tired one night through traveling. I fell asleep and I had a wonderful dream about an island I was on, which was birds flying around and beautiful flowers with the bees hovering above. I woke up around 1 o'clock in the morning, went straight to my writing table and wrote these words. I called it the dream. Take me back to my homeland, above the sea and the sky, back to my friends and family. Take me back to my homeland, where all men are free. Back to the wonders of God's plan for me. My time here on earth has been a mystery, where all forms of life seem to disagree. Take me back to my homeland, among the birds and the bees, where all forms of life live in peace and harmony. Take me back to my homeland, above the sea and the sky, back to my homeland and to eternity, back to my homeland and to eternity. Thank you for listening, and God bless you all.